What is up, Commanders fans? It's Anthony Armstrong. I'm leading it off on the Believe in Commanders podcast, and I got my man Brian Murphy. He's with me. Brian, how are you doing?
I am good, my friend. AAA. Yeah, we're switching it up. I like it.
Yeah, just gotta mix it up every now and again. So, they always get to hear your sultry voice. You got that nice smooth delivery. So now they got to switch it up from time to time, and I'll take the lead.
That's right. That's right. Well, I'm going to switch it up and I'm going to tell you about Bet Online, who is bringing you our show today. And they are the fastest, easiest way to wager on all your favorite sports. Football is right around the corner. You could have made preseason bets, but now they're going to start counting. The regular season is coming up a week from Thursday, which is crazy to think about. So you can find reviews and news on every league, including Major League Baseball, NFL, NBA, NHL, combat sports, esports, and golf. BetOnline continues to be the top online resource for all your sports information, from live in-game betting, props, and futures. I think we're going to incorporate some of our bets throughout the year. We mentioned last week that may or may not be a good thing for you guys. You might want to go the other way on some of those. So
Follow me. I got you. I got you,
yeah,
man. Let's do
I
it.
have more confidence in you, AAA, than my picks. But head to Bet Online today, or use your mobile device to join today and make your first sports bet. Use our promo code Believe50 BLEAV50 to receive your 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Because Bet Online, that's where the game starts. So we're proud to be sponsored by those guys, and we're going to be doing some betting content throughout the year, see how our picks hold up. But always grateful to those guys for bringing us to you guys here. And so, roster cut down day, we'll get to that here in just a second. But Commanders news all over the place this week. And we're going to get right to it. The serious stuff that happened on Sunday. And Brian Robinson was shot in an attempted carjacking robbery type situation. Very scary stuff. Just probably not what he was expecting on a Sunday night. Scary off the top. Thankfully, he's okay. I'm sure that all Commanders fans have been staying up to date with that he was okay. Suffered non-life-threatening injuries, but still some scary stuff there, Anthony.
Yeah, that was astonishing news to hear. It's very sad to hear sad that it happened. Sad that that's him at such a young age. And when you think about it, the organization, doesn't really have a very welcome history with having that type of gun violence going on. So I didn't think about that initially, but I'm sure there were people that kind of had some of those thoughts thinking about the great Sean Taylor.
Mm-hmm.
So just so thankful that Brian's okay, and he was able to survive. And it's one of those things that you really just want to check into the services that the NFL does provide for security wise. Yeah, I know it's annoying. You don't want somebody following you to go to the club or go when you go just to hang out and have a little fun. But there are people that are going to make you a target,
Mm-hmm.
and you want to make sure you take care of yourself. And there are services out there that the NFL provides that I would just say all young players check into, and just rely on what's out there for you. They people want to make sure you're safe, and hopefully things like this don't happen.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're totally right. I heard that he was shot in the leg, and that initially brought up terrible memories of Sean Taylor. Thank God, literally, that it didn't end in the same way for Brian Robinson. You're right. Yeah, it seems annoying, but if you can take some extra precautions, you certainly should. But you hate that he would even have to do that, just kind of out on a Sunday afternoon, Sunday evening. Just terrible. You hope that justice is brought. And again, you just thank God that he is okay, that he no major injuries. He was back in the facilities. We're recording today on Tuesday. He was back in the facilities on Tuesday, which was great to see.
Yep.
No idea about the timetable for a return, but news was updated today that it sounded like it entered and exited through his knee. No major organs or tendons or anything, ligaments were hit, which is a miracle. You would think that it didn't hit
Yeah.
anything major there. So that's a little bit of good news. Obviously, football is so secondary to this man's life, but for what he's trying to accomplish and what his job is, on the football field, it's good to hear that hopefully he'll return to the field a little bit sooner than later.
Yeah, yeah, but and the good thing is obviously yes, it was successful surgery on Monday, and now it's just hey, take your time. Let's make sure the guy is fully healthy. I mean, that's I couldn't imagine. I just
Mm-mm.
really couldn't, going through that, and I think the future's still bright for him, so I think he'll be okay. But we're glad he's healthy. I know that
Yeah,
much.
it seems like the organization rallied around him immediately.
Hmm.
Randy Jordan, the running backs coach, and Ron Rivera were at the hospital that night. Ron Rivera tweeted something out. I think he said Brian wanted him to tweet something out to let fans know that he was okay. So,
I saw
um,
that tweet. I saw that tweet.
yeah,
Yes,
I think they've done a really good job of updating the fans. Commanders fans for Redskins, Washington football team fans, they are passionate and they care about their guys. So it's been
very
cool to
loyal.
yeah, it's been cool to see some of the fans rallying around Brian Robinson, and that the team realizes that and has been providing updates. Thought it was really cool. They did the little video of him coming back into the facilities. You saw him on crutches with his knee wrapped up, and then I think you saw a picture of him maybe on one of the operating tables, just getting checked out. So it seems like, for how disastrous it could have been, there are some positive signs, and it's good that he's back in the building and hopefully headed towards playing in the 2022 season, which you didn't think. Well, I don't know what you thought on Sunday, but it wasn't sounding positive when you hear gunshots. You're not thinking this guy is going to be anywhere near the football field. So that he's already back in the facility 2 days later, that's a miracle to me.
Very much so. Very much so. And as happy as we are that he's healthy, and he's made the 53. So
Hmm.
he's not on any like physically in the no pup list or
Right.
so no short term IR. Like he's made the full 53, which is good.
Yeah.
And that definitely leads into what today was. It was roster cut down day
Yeah.
across the NFL. Um, it's a day full of emotions. You have a whole bunch of young men who've been living their dream, and trying to make it to the league, try to play on Sundays. And roster cut down day is a tough one. But just jumping off, Brian, did you see anything that maybe made you scratch your head a little bit, or what were your thoughts about this initial 53?
Yeah, it sounds really harsh to transition from gunshots to the roster cut down, but this literally has an impact on that. Thank goodness that he's okay, and you're right that he's on the roster, and that's a good sign. I think things could potentially change. But the running back was a bit of a question mark for me. You weren't sure what they were going to do with Brian Robinson. He's on the roster. But they also keep Jonathan Williams. I think we were expecting Robinson, McKissick, and Gibson. And then
Yeah,
Jonathan Williams is on the roster. A year after Jarrett Patterson is a great success story, going undrafted, being on the roster all of last year. It sounds like it wasn't too big of a surprise for those that were around the team up close and personal, but I was a
yeah,
little surprised that Jarrett Patterson was cut and that Jonathan Williams stayed on. So that'll be interesting to see how the running back position kind of shakes out. Regardless of Brian Robinson's injury, I was kind of interested in how it would shake out. Would they go with three? Would go with four? That was the first spot that really caught my eye.
yeah. Yeah, it seemed like outside of that, nothing really jumped out at you.
Mm-mm.
I did see the tight ends. You have definitely those young guys: Cole Turner, Rogers, and Curtis Hodges, and who Lake Lewis. He put a little. He dubbed him. I asked him. I said, "Who's going to be?" I'm using air quotes if you're just listening. Who's going to be the next Anthony Armstrong out of this? Out of this camp? And he said Curtis Hodges was a name. I think he said Curtis or Hermione. Oh Lord, one of those two guys was a
Well,
name
they
to pay
both made
attention
it,
to.
at least
They both
initially.
made it, so at least one of them gonna be right. Um,
Right.
so the
You
tight end position, it was good to see who made it, but those guys definitely showed enough to be on the roster.
Yeah, 5 tight ends, which I thought was interesting. I wonder how much of that is the health of those top 3 guys. Logan Thomas working his way back. Cole Turner and John Bates have been battling injuries through camp. You wonder, as much as we're talking about Hodges and Rogers, if one of them gets left off, by this time next week, moving some things around. Because the other big question mark for me were the cornerbacks. Only 4 cornerbacks make the initial 53, which I thought was kind of surprising. William Jackson III, Benjamin St. Juste, and Kendall Fuller were givens. I thought Danny Johnson and Corn Elder were kind of shoo-ins for that 4 and 5 spot, but both those guys are gone, and Christian Holmes is there. I say all that going from tight ends to cornerbacks. I think there could be some shifting there before it's all said and done. Maybe dropping one of those tight ends, adding another defensive back from
Yeah.
some of these other cuts across the league. What were your thoughts on those kind of position numbers, and especially the cornerbacks? That seems really,
Yeah.
really light.
Yeah, well, so when the news came across that you sent me the John Kimes tweet. Shout out to John, and I had to go get my glasses.
Yeah, that was
John, God love him. That man took a picture of the 53 paper, but it was not like zoomed in nice and close. It was plus you could see like 5 feet of
right.
grass on top. It was like 7 font, man. I
Uh-huh.
had to
Yeah.
zoom in, and I was starting to like organize it just to see, who was where. Couple little thing I found interesting. All of the receivers are in numbers are 17 or under, except for Cam Sims. He's like way
Mm-hmm.
down there with tight ends and stuff. But
That's a good point.
um, that's a little extra tidbit from my organization. But when you look at it now, you see 4 corners. I would get the feeling that they're and coach said that they're not done. I
Mm-hmm.
would get the feeling that they would try to get somebody for some depth there, but then you look at the safety positions, keeping 5 in total from Strong and Free, Bob McCain, Percy Butler, Jeremy Reeves, Cam Curl, Derek Forrest. That was a name that was going around. Derek Forrest, he found his way onto the roster as well. You know, it makes you wonder what kind of packages are you going to see on defense. Is it good? Is it going to be safety heavy?
Mm-hmm.
But I still feel like you have to get just that one extra corner. But the practice squads haven't been set, right?
Right.
And so if these guys pass their waivers, they clear waivers, then they can be brought back on practice squad.
Mm-hmm.
And the cool thing to know, um, those conversations of the intention to bring somebody back on practice squad, those are generally happening right there when they
Right.
get cut, right? They're like, hey, we're going to let you go, but we want to bring you back on practice squad. You just have to clear waivers. And so they clear waivers, and then you're back on practice squad. So for those who don't know what practice squad is, essentially there's a few extra spots on the roster where the guys literally just practice. And the cool thing about being on practice squad is that if you get picked up by another team, you have to go to be on the active roster.
Right.
You can't go practice squad to practice squad. So there's some value about being on the practice squad. Um, and I could go. I feel like I don't want to go too far down this rabbit hole, but essentially, a team can steal you off a practice
Right.
squad, and if Washington wants to keep a guy bad enough, then they're going to have to try to match it and then activate him, which makes other roster moves happen. But there's some guys that could still be brought back on practice squad, and if a spot situation shows up, then they can say we're going to activate you for this week,
Right.
right? And they can make some moves, and then so there's some jostling that can happen. There's ways that the teams that are good at kind of I don't want to say working the system, but working the system.
Yeah, absolutely.
They're doing it the right way. Like, hey, we activate this guy so we have some more depth at corner. And then we'll release him and put him back on practice squad. That's how the game goes sometimes. I've been a part of that. Right. I get cut and then I'm back active for the week and I get cut for the game. So that can happen. There's going to be some more people that show up on this roster. There's going to be some more moving and shaking. That is one thing that's going to happen for sure.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're talking about it here on Tuesday, August 30th. And that's this roster is going to be not totally different, but there are going to be some tweaks and changes come September 11th when they kick off at 1 p.m. versus the Jaguars. But I think, from this roster that you have your core group of guys, you have your 45, contributors or so that are going to play. But over these next couple of days, they're going to tweak a couple things, move a couple guys, bring a couple guys back, and so that'll be interesting to see. I really think along with corner. I'm hoping that they bring in a veteran, a guy from across the league that they feel like can contribute, because St. Juice, Fuller, Jackson, those guys are solid, but can they stay on the field? And do you feel comfortable throwing a 7th-round rookie in Christian Holmes in there as the
Yeah.
next guy up? So that makes me think that they might go the veteran route there at corner. And then we've kind of talked about linebacker, I feel like, all summer. I feel like they're a little light there as far as experience. They've got 5 guys there. Jamin Davis, Cole Holcomb are going to be your main 2 guys, obviously. David Mayo, a veteran. But then Milo Eifler and Dejon Harris, not a whole lot of experience there. And you wonder if they might get, flip-flopped out for a veteran that comes loose over these next couple of days. Those are the moves that I'm looking at.
Yeah, and those are guys that I mean that's just a part of that game. If they have practice squad eligibility, then they may make their way down to the practice squad. So it's not all is lost. Not all is lost. I think I've told the story before that they have a whole they're gonna have a dry erase wall full of names from every roster who they anticipate, like, hey, if this guy is available, do we want to move on him? So these teams are really good at what they do. They've made a lot of decisions and they're scouting all the time. So any last second transactions or changes that happen now are going to definitely be strategic for the benefit of the team. So don't get too upset if you see something that kind of throws you off right at the last minute.
Yeah, and I think that barring a huge trade, we wouldn't have a whole lot to update you on unless they brought in like a Roquan Smith who was talked about being traded or something like that. I don't foresee that happening, but I think that they feel probably pretty good about what their core, about who they got going, and they know which of these guys are going to be key contributors next Sunday. So it'll be interesting to see who they add and who they put on the practice squad and some of those moves that they make over these next couple of days. I definitely, like I said, I'm going to be looking to see. I'm refreshing Twitter all the time, looking to see are any linebackers available. Is there a corner that might be available? I'm sure a bunch of Commanders fans will be doing that, especially as the practice squad gets settled and all of that. I'm sure we'll be refreshing and making sure that there aren't any last second additions.
Absolutely, and that's one thing I love is if you use Twitter the right way. I kind of feel like I have a cousin. She lives out in California. She's like, I'm on Twitter. She's like, I see you post stuff. I don't ever say anything though. You can get all the information that you really want and need if you just kind of sit back and shut up.
That's right.
I mean, it's like a lesson in life as well. But I mean, if I don't even sit here, I can sit back and everybody's giving great updates. There's a lot of great information out there, and I mean, being we're remote, we're not in Virginia around the team, so we're not there every day. I can say we get some good information. There's a lot of good content out there that you can rely on, and there's a lot of positivity. There's a lot of negativity that kind of goes around the team. If we're being real,
Yep.
But there's a lot of positivity too, and I will have to take the time to kind of give a shout out, if you don't mind. Got to give a shout out to one of our followers, listeners here. What does it say? FP engineer. It's got the one and so let's see. FPENG1N2ER. I'm assuming that's engineer. So shout out to him for listening. You know what? He is gonna also be a winner for the Madden.
Yeah, let's
All
go.
right, so we're gonna get him hooked up. He sent us a message, and I'm gonna read it. Hopefully, he doesn't mind. He says that, hey guys, we really do love your show. I listen to you on Google Podcasts. You guys are so much more positive than other Commanders podcasts. Keep it going, please. Not sure if it's too late for the giveaway, but he entered his made his entry, followed the directions, so I can appreciate that. His cookie, it said, beside the custom ones that his wife makes, a custom homemade ones, salted caramel, salted caramel snickerdoodle is awesome.
Dang.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, and we might need a couple of those. That might be part of the giveaway there. You have to
That
send a
yeah,
couple of those to us.
I will send you a pre-packaged box to return some salted caramel snickerdoodles in. Yes, but he says he has to go with the classic Nutter Butter. I am like, wow, a Nutter Butter. Like I honestly, I've never had a lot of Nutter Butters.
I will say I think the last time I had a Nutter Butter, it was the snack that I got after giving blood. Like it was just like a little
Oh,
bit of sugar to make
yeah.
sure that I didn't pass out on the way home. I think
Here's
that
a
is
pick you up.
that might be the one and only time I've had a Nutter Butter, to be honest with you. But hey, to each their own. Nutter
That
Butter
is
is good for our
hilarious.
guy, so it's good for
He
me.
is. He is. It's a little pick me up. I'm not mad at that. But no, I will say this that I I believe in the manifestation. I believe that thoughts are things, thoughts become things. Hell, I don't think I would have made it to the league if I didn't think that big. And so I feel like I want to be, me personally, I want to be able to deliver a positive experience around the
Mhm.
team. You know what I mean? There's enough negativity out there, but I don't need to go online and then read even more negativity or a negative spin on something that ain't bad. You
Right.
know?
Right. Yeah, and we mentioned Twitter, and it is largely a negative place. And I feel like that there was some positivity building around this team. The quarterback was starting to get control of the team. We saw some young guys that were making plays, and it just seems like now that the roster cut down was made, it just seems like that there has been a cesspool of negativity over the last couple of days. So I'm with you. I mean, this is a new season. This is a chance for the Commanders to start off strong, first season as the Commanders, and I'm excited about what they're going to do. And I'm excited, to be able to talk about it with you, a guy that's done it before, and get some good guests on here. And it's just a good thing that football is back. So yeah, I'm not going to get too caught up in the nitty gritty and why didn't we sign this guy and why can't
Yeah.
I get why you want your team to make the best moves, but also sometimes you just got to sit back and enjoy it. And that's what I'm looking forward to this season, that we can sit and start talking about actual football games. I think that's part of
Yeah.
the reason that a lot of this negativity comes out during the summer, is that people are itching to actually watch the games, and there's nothing going on, so they have nothing to do but to stew on their thoughts. But hey, we are 12 days away from recording this. By the time you guys listen
Yes.
to this, will be even less. But 12 days away from the actual thing, Commanders football, week 1, FedEx Field. The Jacksonville Jaguars will be in the DMV,
That's gonna be
and it'll be
exciting.
rocking.
It's gonna be rocking. And last little thing, don't get on Twitter talking about same old season if there's a 3-and-out. Okay, don't do
Mhm.
that. Don't do that. Like you got to understand, this is week 1. The
Right.
tape that they have, and this is getting into how teams are studying. They're who's coaching? Doug Peterson, right?
Yep.
So they got to go and get Doug Peterson tape
Mhm.
from his previous team with Philly.
Yep.
Yeah, so they're looking at Philly tape, trying to look at the schemes that he could run. There, you get a little bit from the preseason, but people don't roll out the whole Rolodex in the preseason. It's pretty basic on the field.
Mhm.
So you're going to look at Philly tape to see what type of nuances he does. Does it match up with kind of stuff that we're seeing him do now? So they're kind of bouncing back from preseason to both. It takes a little bit. Once you get some good game tape of what's going on, people are going to end up settling in and playing better. So if it's 1-3-and-out, don't be so negative. We're going to be all good. It's going to be a
Absolutely.
good season.
And I think we've done a good job of saying that this is a 17 game schedule. One game, yes, every game matters, but it's a marathon. It's not a sprint, and so these teams have got to figure each other out. And a lot of these guys. I mean, I saw a video today. I think it was the first time that Carson Wentz was throwing to Logan Thomas, and we're a week and a half away from the regular season. So this team is going to take a second to gel, and I'm excited about some of the pieces they have. I'm thankful that Brian Robinson is okay and will
Yeah.
potentially be out there. Who knows when, but that's good news. So yeah, I'm feeling good. Football's around the corner, which means
Yeah.
the weather's going to cool off a little bit, and man, the fall is the best time.
Yeah, and this is unfortunately, down here in Dallas, the Tyron Smith was injured.
Mm,
And you talk about the team needing a little bit of time to gel. Dallas is out. It was with is without their bookend tackle, and then they got another young guy on the side. It makes me wonder. I had to go and check Bet Online, and I had to see just what the spread is. What's the spread in on the NFC East, right? Who's
mm.
the favorite now? I don't know if I think it's changed. Still, it's tied. Dallas and Philly are plus 140. Washington's at plus 525. New York's at plus 775. So they are long shots to make it. But yeah, so I was like, okay, that's interesting to see. I personally think that yes, it's unfortunate that Tyron is down, but it's a benefit to everybody else in the division. And I sure would be excited whenever Chase Young is back, and you're kind of getting to go against a team that's kind of thin on the offensive line. So hey, maybe you take yourself to Bet Online and use that code BLEAV50.
That's right. Yeah, there you go.
It's on your screen.
Yeah, go look into that, and like we said, we're going to be bringing you some bets all season long. We're so grateful to those guys for helping sponsor the show, and yeah, I'm excited to see how odds change and where the Commanders are at. Maybe the Commanders are a nice little value pick. Nobody's thinking about them right now. Maybe you could put a little bit down on them and make some money here at the end of the football season and look like a genius. But
Yeah.
we know that the football season is right around the corner. I imagine next week we'll be breaking down the Jacksonville Jaguars a little bit, talking about our predictions for the season, all that kind of stuff, because football is back. I mean, we've been saying how close it is, but it is back. I can taste it. I can feel it. I can see it almost, that it is
Yeah.
back and it's coming your way, and we're excited to bring it all to you.
I'm stoked. I'm ready for it. And I told you I got the little package that has all 22.
Love it.
I'm gonna figure out how to put that up on the big screen and break down, look at the tape from the top view, because that's the best way to do it. That's the best way for me to enjoy the game. So maybe I'll have some breakdowns, some insight for y'all during the
And
season.
And we didn't even mention we're going to be in a Believe fantasy league. That'll be
Oh
exciting. Some banter between a couple of the shows, so that'll be a lot of fun. So all
yes,
kinds of stuff coming for you this season, and it's just getting started. It's been an awesome summer, and now it's just going to get even better with real games to watch and to break down.
absolutely. Glad to be able to talk about football. We're having to scour Twitter to find some topics, but hey,
That's right.
now we know what it is.
That's,
Sunday, July? Sunday, no, September 11th. That's when it goes down. FedEx Field. Y'all be there.
that's right. Be good, and thanks for listening. We'll talk to you guys soon.
See ya. All right.